So you can do a dual attack mode or a single, but Todd and Randy are ready, willing, and able. And with that, I have actually leave, so.
He set you up good.
Oh, whoever the winner
call me up and go, oh yeah, that's my ticket. She may end up having to drive us out. Yeah, right. I can drive. Take the other ticket.
Okay. Come on, Randy. Come on. Just pass this through here to get in line. Yeah. Come on, Todd. Come on, Todd.
She's promising not to hurt you.
No. Well, if you remember correctly, Randy made the oops by asking about self-defense against the weapon. If you remember that. Okay, guys. I think everybody was here last time, right? Everybody that's here now was here for the last presentation. Oh, you weren't here for the last presentation? Okay, we're going to go over some real quick. Go over a real quick synopsis of what we went through last time. Simple self-defense moves. Like these guys have heard, self-defense isn't about strength. Okay, you never teach self-defense techniques that have anything to do with strength, because you're never going to get attacked by somebody weaker. It's always going to be somebody stronger. So when we teach techniques, it's all strictly technique. It's technique, it's balance, it's speed, it's the element of surprise is what we teach. We teach real simple 5 weapons. Everybody's got them. It's just a matter of how you use them. 5 weapons would be both your arms, both your legs, most importantly your head. Okay. When you're teaching self-defense techniques to kids, kids like to make games, so we keep score with kids, and we'll put them in various positions, and we'll say, okay, what's the score? You know, because when somebody grabs your arm. Somebody grabs your arm, okay? This is going to be intimidating, especially if you've never been in a self-defense situation. But when it comes down to it, the score is still 1-1. He's tied up his arm to tie up my arm. So I'm not at a disadvantage here. It's just a matter of what I do to get out of it, okay? So the element of surprise comes in with the technique you use to get out. The weakest part of the grip, you guys have all heard this, but she didn't hear this, so I apologize if you guys remember. It doesn't hurt to have it again. The weakest part of your grip is right here, between your thumb and your fingers. So this is the part that I want to get out. I want to get out of this area, because if I fight Todd going this way, it's not going to work. I'm not going to get out because I'm going against the base of his hand. All I'm going to do is make him mad, okay? And then he's going to start muscling, okay? So this doesn't work, okay? Because it's going to be muscle on muscle, okay? So what you want to do is you want to get out here. Now from here, there's 2 ways you can get out. One, obviously, is to go this direction. The other one is to go over top of him and grab him, okay? So all you're doing, I tell the kids, because like I said, I teach 5-year-olds. So I just tell the kids, I said, open your hand and draw a circle right around the wrist. Put an imaginary pencil in your hand and draw the circle right around the wrist. Now you got down. So with young kids, if you've got young kids or grandchildren, this is a great exercise to teach the kids, because this happens a lot in schools. This happens a lot in schools and playgrounds in the neighborhood. Play with the kids, make a game of it, and you just draw a circle over their wrist, and then they draw a circle over your wrist. Go ahead. So draw a circle over mine. Draw a circle, draw a circle, draw a circle, draw a circle. And you know what? The kids love it. They go home, they practice it. I bring them into class. I bring them into class, and the kids do this, and the parents can't hold on to them. I said, now that doesn't mean that you can misbehave at home.
That's true. You'll see that parent grabbing their kid at the store.
That's right. So yeah, everything is element of surprise, okay? Now, I don't know if you want to see chokes. I mean, there's a million things I can show you that these guys have seen. But since I have 2 willing participants, I'm going to use the 2. Because you guys, okay? When you're in a self-defense situation, unfortunately here in Phillipsburg and in other areas, we've had a lot of incidents lately. We've had a lot of incidents with unarmed and armed attackers. Okay? Several of those incidents have been multiple opponents. You know, there was a group of 3 over in Easton. There was recently a group of 3 or 4 here in Phillipsburg. It's all over the place. It's not isolated to just us. It's everywhere. What happens is these people who will do the attacking, a lot of times they're cowards. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, that's crazy. Why would they be a coward? If you notice, they hang out in a group. When they hang out in a group, okay, they're doing it because they don't have enough confidence to be on their own. So when there's a group of people that are attacking you, there's always going to be one leader. Always going to be one leader. You can usually tell who the leader is by body language. You can always tell who the leader is if they have verbal interaction with each other. You can always tell who the leader of the group is. When you get attacked by multiple people, the idea isn't to take out every person. The idea is to identify the leader and get them. Okay, so when you're in, hopefully you'll never be in this situation, but if you're in that situation, the first thing you want to do from a self-defense point of view is identify who's the leader. That's the person you want to go after. Because most often, those groups, the rest of them are cowards. And if you have what it takes to confront the leader, they'll run. They'll scatter. They'll scatter like cockroaches. Okay? And it happens all the time. When I read about police reports and stuff, if you take the leader, the rest of them won't come in. It's very rare that they'll come in. Okay? So with 2 attackers, first thing I want to do is I want to avoid one of these guys getting behind me. If you can avoid having one of them get behind you, it's better. And I was in this situation in Trenton. I actually had this situation come up on a job site down by the Trenton train station. 2 homeless gentlemen down by the tracks, down by the Assunpink Creek. And the one gentleman got my attention. The other gentleman had a knife and was trying to get behind me. Okay, so without involving them verbally, I backed up and did this, and made eye contact with this gentleman to let him know I knew exactly where he was, okay, and kept the 2 of them in front of me and kept walking backwards, just in case the knife was going to come out. So the one thing you want to do in a multiple attack situation is never let the person get behind you, because this person will get behind me, and this person, if they know what they're doing, will try to immobilize my weapons, okay? And then this person's going to try to beat the heck out of me, or worse, okay? So if he's behind you, this guy's in front of you, now you're in a situation where you may have lost a couple of weapons, okay? But he's free to go with whatever he wants to do. So if that situation happens, go ahead, Randy. He's like, he's holding his breath. Randy's like, I don't want to do this.
Come on, grab,
Go on, Randy, grab. He's like, oh, I don't want to do this. Okay. Now.
He's going.
But that's why I told him to grab, because I don't want to tell him how to grab.
He's got his body on.
He can do whatever he wishes, but however he grabs me is how I'm going to react.
I ate a big lunch.
I'm not going to. Well, remember, you asked the question about the weapon. That's
It'll haunt him forever.
Now, the way he's grabbed me, you know, this isn't choreographed, but the way he's grabbed me here, my first concern has to be air. Whenever anybody goes for your throat, that has to be your first concern before I'm worried about him. Because if he cuts off my air, I can't think. It only takes a few seconds of having no air supply to your brain, and you can't function, you can't think, even before the time you black out. You will eventually black out, but you will stop thinking ahead of that. So this needs to be my first priority. There's a pressure point right here in your forearm. Okay? All you gotta do is take your fingers in, and it's where the muscles in your forearm, where there's a break in the muscles in your forearm, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna get inside that break, and you're gonna press against the bones of your forearm, and it'll force this action down. Okay.
I give.
It's real simple, just 2 fingers. There's no strength to it. All you do is put your 2 fingers in there and pull down. That loosens his grip. Sometimes it'll bring them up on their toes. But more importantly, it gives you room to breathe. Now I can deal with him. Okay? Because he's got all of his weapons. You know, yeah, I could continue with Randy, which would be, okay, everybody in this room is old enough. I get my kids sometimes and they're like, Pastor Shelley, what's the bump? Never heard of the bump. You know, the dance, the bump when we were all kids? This way. All you do is twist your hips. You hit them here, twist your hips, and the elbow goes here and down to the groin. You don't necessarily need to make a fist. You can keep your hand like what we call a sword hand. 1, 2. That'll loosen him up. That'll get him off. But now I'm more worried about him. Because until I get Randy off me, this guy's free to go. He doesn't have any weapons tied up, and he can be pounding me at the same time. That's a danger. That's why I say, when we're sitting here talking, it looks really good to have Randy like this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take care of Randy, boom, 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 but meantime, Todd's beating the heck out of me. So, for the realistic situation where this guy's beating the heck out of me, first of all, I want my air, then I need to take care of him to get him to back up. Self-defense in Taekwondo, we do fancy kicks. We're kicking up here. Everything looks really good. You see the martial arts movies in Hollywood. Self-defense, you never kick higher than the waist. You're usually kicking only down here in the knees. You want to take out his knee. If this guy's this close to you, you want to get his knee. You want to get your air and you want to take his knee. Don't kick straight ahead with your foot this way. Everybody's foot's built the same. Your foot is twice as long as it is wide, and it's almost a 2-to-1 ratio for everybody. The width of your foot and the length of your foot is 2-to-1. So you don't want to go with the reduced odds of kicking straight with your toes. You want to turn your foot sideways, either this way like a soccer kicker or this way. Okay? For people who aren't used to kicking, whose feet aren't prepared for this, you want to kick this way, right into the knee. Now, some of you who were here last time remember what I said. I can pick a 5-year-old and I can take a football player, you know, or an NFL football player. The difference in the height of their knees is never more than a few inches. So I always tell the kid, don't worry, you know, if Randy's behind me and I want to take his knee, don't worry about looking and finding that knee, just look at the height of your knee. You don't need to go look for his knees right there. Okay, it's the same thing. If I'm working and I've got Randy, and all I can do is get out to get my air and he's coming in, I'm going right here.
Where?
I want to take that knee. I want to take that knee. It only takes a couple pounds of pressure to knock that knee backwards. And if any of you have ever had knee injuries, if any of you have ever had the unfortunate circumstance to have your knee bent backwards, you know how much that hurts. That's going to put him down. Okay? Now, if you don't have confidence, a lot of older folks have issues with balance. So they're not going to want to kick up here because they don't feel that they've got enough balance that they can maintain themselves here. This is where you go for the face. If you're one of those people who struggles with balance, and I've taught people who are in walkers, so they're not going to be able to necessarily do this. They have to use their hands. Here. Right at the base of the nose. Open palm. Don't use your fist. You don't need your fist. You just go open palm right here. And push back. Everybody's heard the myth that if you hit him here, it'll kill him. It won't kill him. Your bone is made up of cartilage. You've seen the professional boxers. All it does is it breaks up the cartilage. That's why the boxers have the flat noses. It's not going to go up into the channel and kill him. But it'll bust this up pretty good. It makes their eyes water. If you've ever been hit by a toddler, you know, toddlers are great for this. You're carrying a toddler and the toddler's moving everywhere. You just smack him in the nose like a kid, and your eyes water. It hurts like heck for me. That's the same. That's the same sensation they're going to get. But it makes his eyes water for just a minute. So now you can get Randy off of you and take care of him. Okay? So yeah, you want to identify who the leader is. Now, in this scenario where Randy's behind me and this guy's attacking, Todd's usually going to be the leader. Okay? When I say identify the leader, in this situation, 9 times out of 10, this guy's the leader. Because the leader wants to have everything free and pummeling, and this guy's just doing. Okay, so but this guy's not the leader. This one's the leader. That's why it's so important to take this guy out. Okay, because once this guy is immobilized, this guy usually won't fight. Okay, he'll be out of there. Okay, now never make that assumption. Always get to the point where neither one of them is fighting you, but take this guy first. Okay, so now for your benefit, we'll do some of the other self-defense. Okay, you just saw one of the chokeholds. Go ahead, Randy. I'll do some with you too, Todd. Okay, here's the forearm. Here's the back for a second so you can see. Those 2 fingers, right here, straight down. That's all you're doing.
You'll feel it.
Okay, now choke from the back, choke from the front. Anytime somebody's choking with their hands, you always want to go for the pinkies and the thumbs. That's the weakest part of your hand. Okay, so if he chokes from the back with his hands, okay, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I got an index finger, I need to get the pinky. You're just going to take one finger. You want to take one finger and you want to form a brace with your thumb. You take your fingers, get it on the inside of his, and take your thumb and put it at the base knuckle as the finger enters the hand. You want to pull. Okay, so when you're doing both hands, you pull. Okay, now, if I'm here and this guy's really seriously trying to hurt me, this isn't just one of my friends on the playground having a good time. If this guy is somebody I don't know, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go here. Like I said, I don't need to look for his knee. I know where his knee is. It's about the same location as mine. And if he's close enough to choke me, his legs are going to be close enough for me to get him. Because otherwise he can't reach me. So once they have their hands on you, you really have the advantage because you know exactly where they are. It's when they're out here. This is more scary. I have no idea where he is. I know exactly where he is here. Okay? So, here, Todd. Choke from the front. It's going to be the same policy with the fingers. Okay? Choke from the front, obviously the thumbs. But you're going to do the same thing. You're going to get your fingers here. You're going to use your hands as a brace, and you're going to pull back this way. If they don't let go, you just keep pulling. Eventually, those thumbs are going to separate or break right away from his hand. Okay? So, pinkies are great. pinkies pull easy. Pinkies are the easiest of the pulls.
I saved you.
Yeah.
You didn't hear any cracks yet.
Go pretty far.
Okay, now,
Uncle.
yeah, where's my bat? Where's my
Bag
bat?
of tricks now, guys.
It's a little bat. It's a little bat. It's a Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs bat. It's a little bat.
Nothing here, Randy. Don't worry.
But again, weapons. Like I said, some of these attacks that you've read about in the news recently, unfortunately, it's either knives or guns or sticks, but they've got a weapon. Let Todd go with the weapon this time. When they've got a weapon, okay, everybody, go ahead, hold that. You're looking here. Whether it's a bat or a blade, your mind automatically wants to go here because you're thinking that this is what's going to hurt you. This isn't what's going to hurt you. This is going to deliver the blow, but that's not what's going to hurt you. The hand that controls the bat, the hand that controls the knife, the hand that has the gun. That's what you've got to get control of down here. So it's hard mentally when you're under a situation where you're being attacked, but you don't want to go for this because God forbid this is a blade. And you try to stop that blade from hitting you, now you've just cut your hand. Okay? Or if this guy's got a lot of strength and he's coming down, I've just injured my hand. Okay? I may have broke my hand. I don't want to go for that. Okay, I'm trying to minimize the injury to me. If this is a knife, you have to put it in your mind, you may get cut. Because if you don't tell yourself, there's a chance I'm going to get cut, this guy has a weapon, there's a chance I'm going to get cut, and you get cut, you'll freak yourself out and stop. So when this guy's coming with a weapon, you want to control the arm that's controlling the weapon. You want to control the wrist that's controlling the weapon. So go ahead, right here. See how I'm going around his wrist? Now I'm basically going to do the same thing that I just did with the single wrist grab. I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to take this away from him here. Okay, so from here, okay, I don't want to go for the weapon, I want to go for the arm. It actually makes it easier if you learn how to focus on the hand. Okay, it's not as emotional to you when you're being attacked. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. Here. If he's coming at me with two hands, I'm here. Now, where's that knee? Okay? I don't need to worry about taking the weapon out of his hand, because if he comes at me, go ahead, with two hands, guess where that weapon's going? If he's going back on his knee, he's not thinking about this any longer. Usually he's going down to the ground. So any one of the strikes, you can do a number of strikes. Here. Yeah, now, you see his arm go back? That's another one right here. Take him back like this. And then take it away. Okay? So yeah, whenever they're coming at you, knife, stick, gun, don't focus on the weapon. Focus on the hand. Okay? And it doesn't take strength. Okay? Nothing I've done to Todd has anything to do with strength. It's just block, circle. There's an art, not my art, but I use it. It's called small circle jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. The gentleman who developed this is named Wally J. We've had the privilege of working with Mr. Wally J. I don't know if Wally J is still alive. He was in his 80s when I was working with him. But everything is small circle. All it takes, just like the game that you play with the kids, all it takes is a small circle. Any joint, if you keep turning a circle, any joint in your body, your elbow, your wrist, your shoulder, your knee, your ankle, turn that circle and the joint will lock. So that's what he teaches. This 80-year-old man, and he took the biggest guy, I was so impressed, he took the biggest guy, and it happened to be a varsity football player at an NCAA school, Division I school, and he was a lineman. And here's little Wally J, who's my height, and he said, son, come up here. And he basically told him, when you were talking pinkies, okay, you're talking pinkies here. He's sitting here and he says to this guy, he said, I want you to throw the hardest punch you can, right at my face. I want you. And the football player's sitting there and he's like, oh my God, I'm going to kill this guy. And all Wally did was, as soon as he started with that punch, just pull that pinky back. And he literally had the guy up on his toes, up on his toes just by manipulating that pinky. Try it. Take your own hands. Take your own hand, put your index finger on the front of your pinky. Take your thumb on the back of your pinky and pull it. You feel that? No strength involved. That's what you're doing with any of your joints.
Sobriety test.
So yeah, the big thing for today though, because a lot of you saw the other stuff. I mean, I did a million things, and if you ever want to learn, I don't mind teaching people. I'd rather you learn so that you're never involved in one of these situations. But for those of you who were here last time, the two things I want you to think about is, you've got multiple attackers, identify the leader. Always take care of your air if, unfortunately, this guy gets behind you. Try to keep him in front of you, but once you know who the leader is, I'm not interested in him, I want him. I want him because if I get him, this guy's usually going to be a coward and run.
He's our leader, he's our coward.
Yeah, now he is. Remember, he's the one back here, and you're the one free, so you're leading. And with a weapon, never focus on the weapon. Never focus up here. Because when your focus is up here, that's what you're going to grab for. If you grab for that, you're going to get hurt. You don't want to focus on the weapon. You want to focus down here on the arm, the hand that controls the weapon. Okay? Like I said, simple. Block, circle. It's a block and a simple circle. That's all it is. And you can take that weapon away from them, because what you'll do is you'll lock that wrist joint and you'll be able to get the weapon right out of their hand. Okay? Any questions? Anybody?
I'm thinking I'm gonna be messing with you.
I love this stuff. I've been doing this stuff for 24 years. So I teach it at all levels, from 5-year-olds, like I said, to senior citizens with walkers. So
I got a question. I remember what happened last year when I
ask the question.
There. Can I see that?
Sure.
What if, you're showing this way, but what if sometimes they come at you like this?
They come at you with a stab.
Yeah.
This way, stab them.
Right.
What you do is you sidestep them. You sidestep them, okay? You're in front of me. Like I said, I'm not focused on that.
Yeah.
I'm focused on you. So I'm watching right here to see what action you make. Go ahead. I don't want to get the weapon. I want to take you.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I don't want to go this way because I'm going to get cut.
Yeah.
Most people, when they go to stab, and this is one thing with knives, if somebody shows you their weapon, they usually don't know how to use it. If they're going to show you their weapon, they don't know how to use the weapon. So number one, they probably don't have the proper grip on the weapon. But number two, you are better off getting their arms separated from their body here, instead of going this way, because they don't know how to use the weapon. Usually you're going to get cut if you come inside. A stick fighter or a street fighter will walk like this. They're going to keep their arm right next to their body, and they're going to walk up to you like this. You don't even see it. They're going to walk up and they're going to go. At the last minute, they're going to pull it out. So once they're doing this to intimidate you, 9 times out of 10, they really don't know what they're doing. This weapon is purely intimidation, because an experienced fighter won't do that. They'll stand here like this, so that you don't know that there's a weapon behind their arm. As soon as they do this, it's usually just intimidation. So yeah, when they go to stab, an experienced knife fighter will not stab you. An experienced knife fighter is going to slash. An experienced knife fighter is going to cut you. An experienced knife fighter is going to slash you here. Going to slash you here. They know where to slash you to make you bleed. Stabbers, your body's got internal pressure. When they stab into your body, it closes on the knife and the pressure builds. And it's not like Hollywood. It's harder to pull that knife out. So most fighters will not go for a stab. They'll go for a slash. Okay? I mean, that's all stuff that makes people skeevy. But yeah, if they're stabbing you, this way. Okay? Because look what I've got right in front of me. If I go this way, number one, I got cut. Number two, I might not have, I may have given him a block, so I can't get to his face. So you want to go out. Okay? Yeah, it's hard in 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to give you everything, but yeah, if you come that way, same thing. What? Oh, he's good. He acts well. Any questions?
After you take that away from him, literally, what do you do? Like, beat him to death with it?
Break it over
You
his
can't
head.
kill him?
You have to be very careful. You can take the weapon away, but be very careful not to use it unless you're in a situation you know that his intent is to kill you. If his intent is to kill you, you take that weapon and you use it however you have to
But you
immobilize
disarmed him. It's like, what do I do now?
Me, for me, I have to get rid of the weapon. For me personally, because I'm a black belt, So if I use the weapon against him, there isn't a lawyer in the world that can defend me, because the judge is going to say, you're a black belt and you just killed this guy.
Yeah.
You really had other alternatives. So being a black belt is a blessing because you have knowledge, but it's also a curse because you have so much knowledge that the judge is going to say, you could have disabled him. You could have gotten away from him. For a normal citizen, if they're intending to kill you, self-defense, you use the weapon if you can, if you have knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, don't. If you don't have knowledge, throw that sucker as far as you can away from the scene. The problem with self-defense in courts is, and this is, you can only use the amount of self-defense you need to get yourself free of the situation. Once you become the aggressor in the court of law, now you're the one that's going to be thrown in jail. So you cannot go from victim to aggressor, because the minute you cross that line from victim to aggressor, you're going to go to jail.
So you just have to get yourself away.
Get away.
You have to get away.
Get away. Be careful with what you scream. Your voice is a very good weapon. Always yell. Watch what you yell. If you yell, he's got a gun, he's got a knife or fire, most people are going to run away from you. Okay, don't ever broadcast he's got a gun or he's got a knife, because everybody scurries. Nobody will come to your assistance. Okay, but if you say, help, I'm being attacked, depending on where you are, you may get somebody to come help you. Okay, but the minute you announce to the world he's got a weapon, nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to come. But be careful going from victim to aggressor. In the court of law, you know, there have been a few cases recently where we've had home invasions. Once the homeowner is no longer the victim and they're attacking, whether it's with a bat, with their hands, with a gun, now they're the ones that are in court. And that just blows my mind. How somebody can come into your house, invade your home, and all of a sudden you're the one sitting in court defending yourself. I'm like, but unfortunately, that's the way the laws are written. It's very, very scary.
Thank you very much for coming again.
Yeah.
Really appreciate the job. Nobody wants to go back to work, but we all have to.
I know.
Understood.